40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica, starting with a Seymour Putters Masters update. Brooks Koepka's day is over. He leads at 12 under. In second, an amateur in Sam Bennett. He's 8 under through 14 holes. Victor Hovland tied for third with John Rahm at 7 under. Hovland through 3, Rahm through 2. Nashville Soccer Club is at home at Geodis Park tomorrow night hosting Toronto FC. You can catch the game with a 7:30 kickoff right here on 104.5 The Zone, the 104.5 The Zone app, or by watching on Apple TV with the option to listen to the home radio broadcast. Nashville Predators also in action tomorrow night. They are in Canada taking on the Winnipeg Jets, and then on Monday against the Calgary Flames. Those two teams happen to be the two that stand between the Preds and a playoff berth. Within 1 point are the Preds of that final wild card spot in the West with 4 games to go in the regular season. Matchup with the Jets tomorrow is at 6 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Everybody good today? Everybody doing good? Lucas, you good?
I'm great.
You're standing up in there like you're just ready to sprint out of here, man. You got 2 more hours before you can go. Lucas has got like 1 foot out the door. No. You got big plans this weekend? What's going on?
No, I think you ordered some food, right? You're going to go run and go get it.
Did you see my burrito down there?
Well, if you order food, you're supposed to order like an extra large pizza and bring B Bizzle and
yeah, especially on a Friday. Oh,
yeah.
my bad. That would
slice.
be something that I would do because I think of us. But Lucas would do more about I got to order for me and take care of me. These guys in here don't need any help of eating. Just kidding.
Y'all want a bite of my burrito?
That sounds like a euphemism for something. Lonzo is in the Zone TV chat, and his Mississippi State avatar is gone.
Oh,
so if you
did he take it down?
So Lonzo.
Oh, I see it.
No, I see it.
But if you look down on his other post, it's just like a green.
Oh, it's
dot.
a green person. Somebody hacked him. No, that's a different one. That's
Oh, he's involved in. I'm on Twitch. He said, okay,
that's Twitch.
I got worried
and then
Lonzo had lost his fan
it was a
allegiance.
different one was Twitch and one was.
All right, Lonzo, you had me scared there, man. I was like, do we have breaking news? Alonzo has given up his Bulldog fandom.
Man, good pickup.
Okay, so I'm sitting down in the second segment of this show. So start thinking about this. We're going to pick the first 5 picks of the draft, each of us. So we can make trades. We can trade out. We could be the Titan. We could trade with the Titans because we're not the Titans on any of those. So we're going to pick in the second segment of the show today the first 5 picks of the draft. So if you want to get involved with that, we'd love to have you get involved with that. 615-737-1045. You make pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5.
We'll tweet out too as well, just so in case you can't.
Oh, I tweeted it out. It's out there. It's
Mm-hmm.
waiting on these rascals.
Yeah.
So y'all can go ahead and drop it like it's hot on there. I got to find my notes from yesterday because I got to find all my notes from yesterday because I made my pick. So I'll find that in the break. But as I was sitting down, this is the thing that I saw. So we're switching out from Buck. This is a treat from Warren Sharp at Sharp Football.
Oh, Warren Sharp. I thought he was going to say Warren Moon.
If it was from Warren Moon, it'd be even cooler. I know you got to hang out with him the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if people ever wonder about the business, I'll get to this. If people ever wonder about the business of football, Blaine was on an Oilers team that Bud Adams said, if y'all don't win the Super Bowl, I'll blow everything up. And he did.
Oh, and that was my rookie year. I was kind of in Lucas's shoes at that time. And I was like, does he mean I'm going to get cut? That's what I thought my rookie year. I mean, he says this in training camp. So I hadn't even played a preseason game. I only had been to OTAs. I'm like, he said he's going to blow the team up. Well, I just got here. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to make the team. What is he talking about? Because it was a veteran team. So they were like, hey, if we don't go to the Super Bowl, and man, I tell you, that was during the heyday of the Cowboys, who won it 3 years in a row. We whooped them every time we played them, whether it was in preseason, regular season, it didn't matter. But they won the one that counted. So we just knew it was going to be an all Texas Super Bowl. There was no doubt about it in my mind. And I was a backup special teamer, utility nickel dime guy. I was kind of like the safety, also like Molden and all the other guys too at the time. And then eventually I was in there. But that took to week 10. And some injuries and some luck and everything else. But yeah.
So when people talk a lot about the 2000 Titans, because the 99 Titans, you guys knew you were good, but nothing like Super Bowl good.
Nah, we didn't know that till the season kind of moved forward, and the impact of the freak and how much he would really impose his will of his play every game, which is still stands today. I think his record in sacks, right? But that kind of changed everything, and then we just kept winning. I mean, and then the confidence build, and then losing in the Super Bowl, really led to next year's team is going to be better, and we were. Yeah. We were dominant. I mean, yeah. That year we went to the Super Bowl. We won some close games, maybe coin toss games. Kind of had that variable formula. We're going to keep it close, great defense, and we're going to make sure we kick all our field goals and impose our physicality on you. Really, that's what we believe. That's why we beat the Jaguars 3 times, to be honest. We thought that they couldn't live up to that physicality for 4 quarters. And Fisher said that, and we believed it, and we did it, man. But it wasn't like they weren't physical. We just thought that their team was built on putting up points, which always is looked upon as being more of a finesse team and a physical team. But they were physical. We believed it, though. We were confident, and that's what did it.
Well,
wasn't enough against the Ravens, though, that next year, man. I tell you that. And it's just the fact that they used to just talk so much smack.
Wearing those purple uniforms.
They didn't. We always played them, and they had on the white ones. Ooh. I think. Yeah, I don't remember. At least, when it counted, and they won.
Well, people come and go from teams, even great teams.
Yeah, great players. Mm-hmm.
And this is just astounding. I knew the numbers were off, like crazy off. But listen to this. This happened right as we're switching out with Buck. This is from Warren Sharp, and he's one of these guys who is like an analytical guy, so he does a lot of numerical stuff. Like, here's the numbers on this and that.
Okay.
The Titans had the 30th most expensive offense in the NFL in 2023. They're spending $89 million in cap on offense and $102 in cap numbers on defense. Okay, here you go. 60% of the Titans' offensive cap is being used on 2 players.
Oh, yeah, that's Tannehill.
And the King.
Yeah.
36.6 and 16.4. He says no other team is even close. The NFL average for QB1 and running back 1 cap is 19%. No other team is above 39%. Last year, they were at 37%, he says, which is high, but not mind-bogglingly insane. Spending 60% of offensive cap on just 2 players, a running back as great as he is, who will turn 30 during the season, and a quarterback who ranks below average in interception rate and TD rate the last 2 years while taking 80 sacks. Now, we know what was in front of him around here. The 4th most of 58 quarterbacks who've played is certainly a choice. 60% on 2 players. And they need cap money. They're at 7 and change right now of cap space, which would barely maybe sign the draft class.
I think it takes $6 million. I think that's what Rhett Bryan said, yeah.
So something's got to happen. And you look at 2 guys at 60% of the cap, extension, restructure, something's got to happen.
Or cut. All possibilities. Or trade.
Yep.
I firmly believe something's going to happen that's going to surprise us in one of those facets there. Just because of that. So we shall see. I think to me, this is another signal in the football world. It's time to turn the page. And whether it's all of them or one of them, and then it's a gradual process and how you go about that, I think will be determined by how the draft goes. I think then they already understand that these are the moves we're going to make if things go this way, and then they're going to have their plan B and C. So that may include, star players, I'm assuming, in this equation, whether it's Big Jeff, King, Tannehill, or Byard.
We know they went to
Big
Byard,
money.
ask him to take a pay cut, and nothing ever's been said since then. Nothing has happened officially on either side here, but I mean, I would think once they ask, that doesn't just go away, does it? I mean, they don't unask later, go, oh, sorry.
Nah, they do things very strategic, and I think Rand and Vrabel probably did it out of a lot of respect, but I said there was going to be some issues at safety when they signed Hooker to the long-term deal. It was about the allotment of money you're using at safety now, which is not theoretically in the NFL world, a premium position. Now, you can say you have an elite player, but how long are you going to pay him premium dollars? And see, he's been paid a Byard high number for a while here. And that's not his fault, and he's still performing. But in the NFL world, they're trying to beat you to the punch on your downward slope. And he showed last year that it was starting to tick down, and then he came back and followed up with an uptick, right? Just kind of look at the stock market, But then remember what he went in. Remember, he looked slimmer. He changed his diet. He did all these things because obviously he knew something was up with the way he was playing. And it maybe is, I'm starting to lose a step or half a step, So he made sure he half a pound off, whatever that was for him, 5 pounds, 8 pounds. When you're a skill guy, it doesn't have to be a lot. And then he came back and performed really well. You have to make those adjustments along the way when you're a veteran player because you see things that other players don't, and that can make you look like you're still just as fast, especially from the safety position, especially with his ball hawking skills. Which are really fascinating to me because you got to change your vision to whole field vision. People don't understand, like he can see the actual whole field. I had to learn how to do that. I was never a safety. I was always a corner till I got really literally in the league and halfway through my career. So that was a different viewpoint. It is different. It is totally different. And he's still making plays. So theoretically, from sitting on the outside as a fan of Byard, who I think is the best safety in Titans history, is that they feel they can't pay him. And I think Hooker got paid, I think it's $10 million a year, 10 or 11, somewhere around there. You can fact check that, Lucas, whenever you get a chance. And then now you're going to pay Byard 14. See, that's $24 million. He's on the phone. That's $24 million or somewhere thereabout in just the safety position.
You said that too right after they signed the deal.
Yeah, I said, just look at it like this. When they signed Big Jeff, they drafted Big Jeff, how long did Jarrell Casey, and it caught everybody by surprise, right? Caught me by surprise. Well, 1 year in, next year going into it, Jarrell Casey's gone. See, so that's kind of how you look at it, especially when you have a guy coming in for cap purposes. And the reason why, and I don't even blame JR for some of the moves because he was putting all the chips in trying to win a Super Bowl. So just think of it like the Rams. They fell off a cliff, right? But they put everything into winning the chip. They won the championship. They won a Super Bowl, and then it fell off because of all the cap issues and everything else. So that's
Monty,
where we at.
3 for 30. 3 for 30.
So you got 10.
Yep.
I don't know what the cap situation is because he probably got signing bonus. But you're still allotting to $10 million and $14 million.
Yeah.
That is a lot at the safety spot when safety is kind of not looked upon as a premium position. I value it. I think it's been devalued in where it should be going the opposite direction. I think it has more value because of you have to not only be able to be, a free safety, leader, quarterback of your defense, tackle, interceptions, but also you have to be able to play the slot. You have to do a multitude of things. Byard, when you're an elite guy, and Hooker, by the way. So I think he deserved the money, but then you can't say we're going to pay that position just that much. So I thought it was a red flag, red herring in my mind that's a sign that they may go in a different direction. Because they always side with the younger guy who they just gave the contract to. That's why I said I would redo Landry, even though he didn't play. And yeah, I give him money in his pocket because I plan on him to be here not only this year, but even next year, especially if he stays healthy an entire season when he missed the whole entire season. So I would hope that he has a better chance of staying healthy, hopefully, and not missing a lot of games. But we all know there's some luck involved in that. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting roller coaster ride here, and especially with big name guys who have a great following and still playing at a high level.
All right, we're going to play at a high level in the next segment. We are going to make the top 5 picks of the draft. We can make trades. It can go down however we want it to. You want to make those picks along with us, 615-737-1045. That'll get you in on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Buck Reising is going to join us in about an hour. We'll call our shot in a little over an hour. It is a big Friday, and we love having you with us here on Blaine and Mickey. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. We're just rolling through a Friday. So, Director of Content, Blaine Bishop, it's draft season.
Quit that.
And our Director of Content said, we need to
Lucas.
draft some people.
Lucas, thank you for your ideas.
Lucas sitting there having his burrito.
Well, he's young creative, but yeah, I'm still a little disappointed. You got to cut me the end part off, man. Give it to me, man.
It's a California burrito. Do you want a French fry from the inside of the burrito?
Wait, what? What now?
A California burrito.
I think I'll pass on the one French fry.
It's from an establishment that if they want to sponsor us, I'd be glad to shout them out.
Oh, well, you can say that.
They make a burrito with French fries in it.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's just a California burrito. It's basically a steak burrito stuffed with, and there's like guac and pico and cheese and French fries.
Okay. I mean, you had me hello on that.
Yeah,
you stuff French fries in anything, and I'm all in.
I definitely listen to Lucas's food recommendations. He's a foodie.
You a guac guy?
Yeah.
You eat clean? Guac is clean, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
guacamole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in. Yeah.
All right, you boys ready to pick this top five? If you want to pick your top five again, you can make trades. So you're not like for
top
instance,
five picks of the draft, not
top
the
five
Titans.
picks of the draft, not the Titans. So for instance, you're the Cardinals at 3, and you want to trade out of that pick. You can trade with the Titans. You could trade with the Raiders. Whatever you wanted to do. So we're going to do some form of this every Friday leading up to the draft. I'm probably the biggest draft nerd of all of us.
Yeah.
Blaine actually got drafted once by the Houston Oilers.
Oh, barely.
But you did,
214.
So, again, when we
me
talk
and
about
Colin
things,
Finnegan, we're both 214. Isn't that crazy?
that is crazy. It is just for people who want to note things. Anytime you talk about something in the NFL, getting franchised, getting this, getting that, getting drafted, going to the Senior Bowl.
Restricted free agent.
It's because you did all these things. They
I was
happened
all
to
of that.
you.
I was franchise tagged, restricted. Man, I pretty much some of the rules have changed though, with the new CBA and everything else, but it's all interconnected though. Yeah, no doubt about it. So, but this is gonna be fun, man. I'm probably not the nerd that you are, but I definitely are always fascinated with how you project what's going to happen. That's why we're going to do it every week, because your mind changes as time goes on each and every week. Just no different than you're watching some of the guys coming out with their mock drafts. That's why they do so many, because, a lot of them anyway, because they, watch more film, they listen to their sources and everything else, and they kind of moving some of the pieces around. My goal here is just to beat Lucas. And not in a race to eat that burrito either.
He's enjoying every bite of that with his French fries.
Oh, I'm winning that.
Yeah, you definitely got to win that.
All right, so here's the draft order currently. For anybody, we tweeted this out on Blaine and Mickey. You could pick it in the Zone TV chat. You could reply to us on Twitter. It's however you want to do it. So are we
going to pick all of ours, or are we going to do one at a time, Lucas?
We'll do one.
How did you say, Lucas?
Go around the
the horn.
Around the table, okay.
So Panthers have the first pick. The Texans have the second pick. The Cardinals have the third. The Colts have the fourth. The Seahawks have the fifth. Now, our show it's only 2 hours, so we thought we can't get too deep into this. We just don't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd start with 5, see how long this takes, give you guys a chance to join in the mix and see what you think as well. And then we'll just roll from there, because we're 21 days out, I guess.
So everybody's going to do all 5 picks,
draft.
or we're going to do one pick at a time?
Go one at a time.
Each
one
pick
at a time.
1, each pick 2.
Okay,
each
gotcha.
pick 3,
All right,
yeah.
let's go. All right. Well, you started off there, MC.
Oh, I get okay.
MC, yeah, Elder Statesman.
Age before beauty and burritos. I see how this goes. All right.
I've laughed.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh.
We need music.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Lucas is my man.
I was a beat late.
Yeah, that's okay.
Boo, because Goodell's
Man.
out there.
Oh, man.
A lot of people think Stroud. I'm going to zig where they're zagging. Panthers take Bryce Young, quarterback,
Ooh.
Alabama, with pick number 1 of the 2023 NFL Draft. The man that Blaine Bishop says reminds him of Steph Curry in cleats.
Yeah,
He's a point guard. They need the point guard. They've taken a stab at all these different quarterbacks. This is the guy they think to get him right.
All right. Lucas, you're up. Carolina Panthers.
My first pick of the 2023 NFL Draft. I am going to go C.J. Stroud. I'm going to follow the media breadcrumbs, as foolish as that might be, that Stroud fits the profile of what Frank Reich looks for in a quarterback that the Carolina Panthers have been sniffing around C.J. Stroud more than other QBs, and I will stick with that. I also think he is the highest floor. He has the highest floor of any quarterback in this draft, and I will take him to the Carolina Panthers with the number 1 pick.
Wow. I guess I'm ready. Yeah, I only had 2 seconds. I am also going with C.J. Stroud with the number 1 pick, just like Lucas. You're not going to beat me. There you have it. I have Noah. He's my number 1 guy. We got to run around to number 2.
2 Strouds and a Young. All right, we ready for pick number 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft? The Houston Texans wanted Bryce Young. They had him rated higher than Stroud. Again, this is my world.
Yeah.
They had him rated higher than Bryce Young. So the Houston Texans, with a defensive-minded head coach in DeMeco Ryans, will take another Alabama player instead, Will Anderson, the edge. DeMeco Ryans gets his weapon to throw at the AFC South for the next few years.
Defensive coach takes a defensive guy.
They wanted Young. He's not available, but they scouted Young. They attended both Alabama pro days. They fell in love with Will Anderson. They have a pick later, and they feel like they can get their guy, maybe even Will Levis, maybe even Hendon Hooker. They go with the best defensive player in the draft.
Will Anderson Jr. Wow, nice.
I'm believing it as I say this, too.
Yeah.
I believe what I'm saying.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I'm following your logic that Bryce Young is their guy.
I'm sweating.
Since in my world, Bryce Young is on the board with the number 2 overall pick, I am going Bryce Young to the Houston Texans.
Oh, man.
The number 2 pick in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Ditto.
Me too. You know how to do it. Me too.
I think
me
this
too.
is where it could get wacky, though. I think
Yeah,
1 and 2.
this is where you have to get wacky.
I've already gotten weird.
You
with the
did.
boys.
You did. I love it. Number 3, the Arizona Cardinals.
We have a trade.
Oh,
With the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible. We
my.
should have gotten like sound bites from Goodell just saying all this
Yes,
stuff.
that would have been great. We'll be ready next time.
All right, so
we're rookies.
All right, everybody's running around. It's all crazy. Nashville is upside down.
Yes. Oh, man.
Easiest pick he ran in with this pick after they made the trade.
wait, so Bryce Young's off the board, Will Anderson's off the board.
In my world,
Yeah,
yes.
in your world.
ran to the podium to give this envelope. With the 3rd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
I see. Woo, the fans are ecstatic, boy. They're going crazy right now.
This town, the Cumberland River will flow backwards.
They're going to throw all those couches they put on fire. No, that's only in Kentucky, right?
I like it.
Oh, that is pandemonium. That's cool there, man. I love it.
You already done all the groundwork, by all accounts, for the 3rd pick. That's Daniel
man.
Jeremiah said. There's a rumor that the Titans are one of those teams. You've done the groundwork. You make the phone
Lucas
call.
better not do the same thing.
You make the phone call. Trade. Boom. C.J. Stroud.
So in both me and Blaine's world, Stroud went 1, Young went 2.
Yep.
And with the 3rd pick in the NFL Draft, I also have a trade.
And who is trading who? I mean, who traded up, Lucas?
The Indianapolis Colts,
Oh!
hang on, traded the number 4 pick to the Baltimore Ravens for Lamar Jackson. And then the Baltimore Ravens trade up to the number 3 overall pick.
Well, they got to deal with Arizona.
The Ravens traded to 4, so they're sitting there 1 spot back of the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals think, I don't need a quarterback. This team behind me does. What I do want is Will Anderson. I want to make sure that Seattle can't trade up to get Will Anderson, that Detroit can't trade up to get Will Anderson.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to give this number 3 overall pick to the Baltimore Ravens. Compensation, I don't know. That's for them to figure out.
Yeah,
but with the number 3 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Anthony Richardson.
Oh, my.
And Lamar Jackson is a Colt in my fictitious world.
Oh,
Boy.
that was an interesting one.
QB, QB, QB. Even a very circuitous route to that by Lucas Panzica.
Oh man, you guys well
2
thought
trades from the Ravens.
out. Oh, yeah. And then Lamar Jackson's with the Colts.
Man.
And he doesn't get everything that he wanted. But at this point, ship has sailed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
The
He gets
relationship
out.
is soured.
Yeah.
And Jim Irsay, Chris Ballard, they know they have got to get it right this time. So they go after more of a sure thing than any quarterback in this draft, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Man, 2 trades to get there. That is fantastic.
I'm on the clock.
That never gets old.
The Tennessee Titans trade up to the number 3 pick with the Arizona Cardinals. But they also get a 1, Arizona does. They also get Tannehill since Kyler Murray is down and out for the count with the torn ACL when you're left on the deal. So he's going to get him through the year. No rush to get him back. And then the Titans select Anthony Richardson with the 3rd pick. The Tennessee Titans take Anthony Richardson with their 3rd pick.
So QB, QB, QB for both of you rascals.
Yeah. He has the Ravens having that.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. Yeah. So I'm all QB up.
So
Yeah.
y'all both have the Titans with the number 3 pick.
Yep.
Yeah, with the trade up.
Maybe wishful thinking here, but, we put them out there.
Yeah, we may change next week.
Oh, I know. We got a couple more Fridays here. We can go as wild as we want to.
Number 4 is Indy.
Number 4, Indianapolis on the clock. With the 4th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select quarterback Will Levis,
Wow.
University of Kentucky. Got to digging into this stuff. The Colts took everybody, their whole staff, to see Will Levis work out. Jeremy Fowler reported there's buzz for Indy and Levis, and they like the big guy. They don't necessarily want a quarterback who runs. Matt Ryan couldn't run. Phillip Rivers couldn't run. Andrew Luck could, but they really didn't. Peyton Manning didn't really run. He's a big quarterback with a big arm. That's kind of been the guy in Indy. Indianapolis, Will Levis. One William Levis to Indianapolis.
Right down the
I
street.
think Titans fans would prefer that over Lamar.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least early on.
Yes. Till they see what he's got.
So I had the Cardinals trading back to 4. And so with the 4th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Will Anderson, edge rusher, Alabama. Best defensive player on the board, best overall player left on the board. Whole reason they gave up that number 3 pick for me was in order to prevent Seattle and Detroit from getting up and stealing their guy.
Nice
Gotta
logic
pick up that
there.
production from
Makes
J.J.
sense.
Watt. Got to get a new sack guy.
I'm up next. Oh, Lucas took a bite of burrito. He couldn't. Give me the goo-goo. Yeah, the Colts select Will Levis.
All
That's how yeah, Will Levis. Yeah.
So both of you had a Will, one Levis, one Anderson.
Yeah, me and you both Will, and then Will Anderson.
We all picked a Will in the fourth pick for somebody. All right, I got another curveball.
Ooh.
You're 5.
Another trade?
Not a trade.
Oh.
But the Seahawks' biggest need, according to everybody who's tracking biggest needs, appears to be edge.
Yeah.
So in my world, Will Anderson is gone. Seattle goes for the pterodactyl out of Texas Tech. Tyree Wilson. They need an edge.
Call.
He's moving up the boards. There just appears to be all this buzz around this guy, and literally he is such an interesting physical prospect. Pete Carroll trying to rebuild that legion of. There we go. Can't look past a prospect like this. They've got Geno. They feel like they can get a couple of years out of Geno, so no quarterback for them. They need an edge. They go with Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
Good one. Nice.
My 5th pick. Right there with you. Tyree Wilson.
Oh,
Tyree
the Seattle
Wilson.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
You're right. He is shooting up the boards.
Yes.
An athletic freak. I've seen him mocked ahead of Will Anderson. once or twice. I think it was Lance Zierlein, though, for what it's worth, who was
okay.
just all over the place with his mock
Who
draft.
may or may not have taken who knows what to have crapped out this Mac draft on the other side. It was crazy.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think he's very clearly the first pass rusher off the board after Will Anderson, and I've got him 5th to the Seahawks.
Oh. I'm on the clock.
One final pick.
For my 5th pick by the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if it's ever been done in history. At quarterback from Tennessee, Hendon Hooker to the Seattle Seahawks at number 5. Has that ever been done? 5 in a row?
5 quarterbacks in a row
row in the draft? First 5 picks?
No
I'm going
way.
Hendon Hooker. Yes, that's who I'm going with. But I know they need edge rusher. But yeah, why not have fun? Has that ever been done, Lucas?
I could check and see if there's ever been 5 straight quarterbacks. I highly doubt it. But what I can tell you is if that scenario plays out, so you've had Bryce Young go off the board. Did you have Anthony Richardson go off the board?
Yes, to the Titans at
And
3.
that's right. And then you had
Will Levis to the
Will
Colts.
Levis and Hendon Hooker. That would be the first time in NFL draft history that 3 or more SEC quarterbacks are taken in the first round.
Oh.
There's never been more than 2.
Oh, I did not know that. So Mickey's over there typing up
I'm
really
trying to
fast, trying to
find
see
this.
how many. What did you put into the Google search there? That has there ever been 5 quarterbacks drafted in back-to-back in the first round? Straight.
Never 5 straight. No way.
I don't know. There's always, back in 19.
Man.
Oh, man, I want history to be made. Hendon Hooker is moving up the boards. People are now infatuated with not only his play, but his acumen and his IQ as a quarterback. He already can make all the throws. So I think they have time to pass and a year. So I think they're good with that.
Okay, here you go. Here's everything you wanted to know. The 1983 NFL Draft was hands down the best ever for the drafting of quarterbacks. Elway, Blackledge, Kelly, Eason, O'Brien, Marino. That's 6. There have been 2 years when 5 quarterbacks were taken in the first round of the NFL Draft. Mayfield, Darnold, Allen, Rosen, Jackson. That was in 2018, but that was 1, 3, 7, 10, and 32.
But in 83, that wasn't consecutive either, though. Was
Nope, it wasn't. That was 1, 7, 14, 15, 24, 27.
We making history here.
Here's the closest one, though. Listen to this. Now,
Oh.
Lucas was a baby. He wouldn't even remember this. 1999, Couch 1, McNabb 2, Akili Smith 3. Then you got to go to Culpepper at 11 and Cade McNown at 12.
Oh, that was close.
So that's 1, 2, 3, at least that year. And that there were 5 taken, but
first
Culpepper
round.
and McNown, and people probably don't remember who Cade McNown is. He was this little dude out of UCLA that I think he lasted about 3 years in the league. Drew Bennett was his backup at one point, was his backup at quarterback at UCLA, and then Drew Bennett had a better career than him playing receiver in the NFL. So that would be unprecedented. I mean, there's a quarterback draft in the other
That's
draft.
what I want to see. Woo-wee.
Coach Mack always says there's a quarterback draft in the other draft. That would be amazing.
And then it would be
The other draft.
Oh, man, that'd be cool.
All right.
No blame.
Austin in Lynchburg has been on the line. Austin, we'll get back to you. He wants to talk quarterbacks. And Joe Milton, you want to add to this draft? You don't like some of our picks? Whatever you got, 615-737-1045. Let's hear from you. We can also hit you with some of the reaction to this from the Zone TV chat. It's coming up next.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5 The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I have a special friend with me now. Olivia, you are battling this as we speak, and I know that treatments, they're not easy, right? And Dare to Dream, that's a campaign that is pushing for safer treatments for younger people just like you. How old are you? 10 years old, and it's not easy going through this. Can you talk about what it's been like?
It's been just really hard with all the needles, treatment, medicine, all that.
Yeah, and this is something that you are going to win. You're going to win this battle, but we need all the help we can get to get the education out there. Our Dare to Dream campaign for, again, safer use in some of the things that are being done with the treatment. So Olivia, we always appreciate your time and we are proud of you. You are going to continue this fight and you can always donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV, or you can just visit the Zone's website at 1045thezone.com.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Little kiss from Lucas. They're coming back for a second time on the farewell tour. It has led them through Nashville twice. I said goodbye to them once. I'll probably go do it again. Alan Coker has sit in his top 5 on Blaine and Mickey Twitter. Panthers 1, C.J. Stroud. Texans 2, Bryce Young. Cardinals 3, Jalen Carter. Okay. Colts 4, Anthony Richardson. He's got Richardson falling to the Colts, and Will Anderson going to the Seahawks at 5.
Yeah.
So,
defensive end. Yeah.
Again, man, we're going to keep doing this. That was a lot of fun. So y'all just know Friday, you can just send it to us. You can throw in trades. You can take left turns, right turns, whatever you want to do. We'll get into that. But Austin and Lynchburg has been on the hold line here for a minute. And you want to talk about Joe Milton, is that right? Maybe somebody in next year's draft?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Doing well. What you got, buddy?
So, I want the Anthony Richardson. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get Will Levis either. But if Joe Milton was to have declared this year, he honestly would be in the same camp as Anthony Richardson. Because the only thing Anthony Richardson being graded on is physical traits.
Yeah. I don't know if he would have ran as fast as Richardson, but yeah, you're right.
And he wouldn't have the starting sample size that Richardson
Well, he
does.
started at Michigan. I'm assuming is what the guy's talking about because Milton hasn't started he did for 4 games or something?
He started a few games for Michigan in the COVID season and got benched.
Okay.
And then started the first 2 games of last year and then the last 2 games of this year for Tennessee.
Oh, so he's got a decent body of work, but yeah. I don't know if it's the same. You think it's the same as Anthony Richardson as far as playing time?
I think Richardson would be I think Richardson has played in more games.
Right.
Yeah. But I think Richardson would be viewed as a higher prospect right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about a year from now.
Yeah, Joe Milton had 4 attempts in 2018 at Michigan. He had 7 attempts. Then he had 141 attempts in 2020. He had 62 attempts in 21 for Tennessee, and then he had 82 attempts last year, it says, while playing in parts of 9 games for the Vols. So, certainly with the tools, though, like you said, maybe not run. I don't know if Joe Milton could, what'd you say? Like he did a round-off backhand spray Anthony Richardson did?
Yeah, but I get what the caller's saying, though.
broad
There
jump.
are some traits that are similar with the rocket arm. Actually, Milton's arm would be probably, as far as strength, I don't think anybody could compare to that. But, yeah, I could see the traits, but I think Richardson is much more of an all-around better athlete. Doesn't mean he's a better quarterback. And show, I think what the caller's getting at is you get to see really what the NFL focuses on. And I've said this before in the first round. It's about those athletic traits, even though if they didn't transfer in big results in college. If they played, though, they think those will transfer over and they will develop you into whatever position that is. It took me a long time to say, why did that guy go so high? Because the upside is there. Now there's boom or bust to that, but their upside is higher. I did the same thing when I came out. I was like, man, that guy's not better than me. How did he go higher than me? Well, he's a better athlete than me. And then he ended up booming and, or busting and I boomed, So sometimes it works out. And that's why I always talk about the side that we don't get to see. And that is the mental acumen of the actual player. That's why I think Richardson is going to side on the positive side of this, because if you listen to him talk, this guy is all in and studying and everything else. Let's say Russell, who boomed or bust, he didn't have that. He didn't have any of that. He got in the league and just kind of went along about his business like he was a defensive end, and all I got to do is rush the pass, and I don't have to put too much studying into the game. Well, this is not college anymore. So I think that those traits kind of lead to he'll at least be a solid quarterback at worst case scenario with the right team and development. So, yeah. Milton, I'm still not sure yet because, first of all, I want to make sure Milton is actually even on the field. You hear all these rumors about how he had a horrible scrimmage. I don't know if that was true or not because no one can be at the scrimmages, right, for spring ball?
Yeah, media, not there.
Yeah, so all you can go on is what the coaches or someone leaked out to the media. So I don't know if it was true. It was on the message boards too as well, right? Yeah, so I don't know if that was true. So I would assume that he's going to be the starter the way he finished the season, as he continued to get better and get more touch and hitting on the deep balls. So yeah, he's got a strong arm. He will get drafted if he starts all the games or most of the games this year. He'll get drafted. I don't know how high, but even if it's projected third round, he'll go second round. Worst case scenario, depending on what the competition is coming out. And that's why I had Hooker going 5. I just think people have to really start looking and appreciating what he did last season. And you can talk about that style of offense or not. He was accurate on pretty much everything. And then protecting the football is key. And that's one thing that you can't deny. So, and then you go look at him against Alabama. That's the easy part. Elite players who you know are going to be solid NFL players. At all over the place. D-line, cornerback, linebacker, everywhere in the secondary. So, yep, that's how it goes, though. As much as I probably disagree with that, if you're not showing it and you have all these great traits, why aren't you showing it? See? So that I'm all about show me guy. So I definitely don't side with the traits. And if you're not showing it, why not? So they take risk. And sometimes it pays off.
Well, I just would keep going back to the tape, though. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
Boy, I know you can do you're fast. You can jump you got the wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it, though?
See?
Where's the production?
Yeah. And I go just right to the combine and go see a guy run a 4.3, and then you see the other guy who's covering him run a 4.5, and then you go watch him on tape and you go, why is the 4.5 guy running stride for stride with the 4.3 guy and is locking him down? And that's how I come up with, I don't know if I like that guy. I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's about the production on the actual field.
Yeah.
We can go, this is not a track meet. And yeah, does that help? But maybe when you get the pads on, you don't run as fast with your shoulder pads, helmet. They do weigh, by the way, and your thigh pads and everything else.
Well, you didn't wear any of that stuff, hardly.
Yeah, because I needed all the speed I could get.
All right, we got to speed to hour number 2. A very cryptic tweet just hit Twitter.
What?
From a large Jeff Simmons.
I thought he didn't have social media.
Well, he's back, and he just tweeted something.
I told you.
Tell y'all what it says next.
Put him on the trade block.
Here we go.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5, The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it is my privilege to be sitting here with Olivia. She is going through this battle right now at 10 years old. I know it has not been easy for you. You've been going through treatments and continue to. Why is it so very important for people to donate?
So we can get easier treatment options, and it will help the research of leukemia and lymphoma.
Yeah, and this is such a strong young lady, and every little bit will help. Like she said, the Dare to Dream campaign for safer treatments. This is not a disease that discriminates. It hits all ages. We've seen athletes that are dealing with that right now as we speak. But Olivia right here, she's going to win this battle, and we are here to help. So you can easily donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV. You can just also go to 1045thezone.com.
It is 2:01. Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica, starting with the Seymour Putters Masters update. Brooks Koepka maintains the lead at 12 under. He is done for the day here in the second round. And Sam Bennett, the amateur, making some noise. He's also done for the day and in second on the leaderboard at 8 under. John Rahm in third through 6 holes at 7 under. The Nashville Predators are 1 point back of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. Their next 2 games against the 2 teams that stand between them and the postseason. Tomorrow night, a 6 p.m. meeting in Winnipeg against the Jets. They'll take on the Calgary Flames on Monday. Nashville Soccer Club returns home to Geodis Park Saturday night, hosting Toronto FC, a 7:30 kickoff for the Eastern Conference Clash. You can hear the call right here on 104.5 The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
The first one I did. Blade and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. We got Twitter news. Does this count as breaking news in the social media world, Lucas?
I don't know. This one is tough for me. I'm not comfortable hitting the breaking news sounder until there's actually news.
Yeah, man.
So, as we go to break, you know, in this day and time, if you're in our world, you kind of have to keep social media channels open just so you don't miss anything during your window of time on the air. So Jeff Simmons, who hasn't tweeted anything since February 24th, best I can tell, he retweeted Starkville Parks and Rec Jeffrey Simmons Scholarship Fund as an extension of our ongoing partnership with Grind Simmons 94. So he reinstated his Twitter account, and he hasn't done anything since February 24th. So this dropped 13 minutes ago. Titans Nation, thank you for the last 4 years. I am so grateful for you guys. ... I think it's that many dots. So then we go to break, and it's like, holy cow. Like, thank you like that usually means like, thanks for everything. See y'all later. So during the break, Blaine catches this. We're all on Big Jeff's Twitter. He followed it up with this. A GIF of him doing like his holler after he gets a sack or makes a big play, and he's flexing. But we are not done yet, damn it. He says, LFG, we have so much work to do, ! So Titans fans went from the lowest of lows, like he's telling us goodbye, to now him saying, no, there's work to do. And the GIF of him is it GIF or GIF? GIF?
It's GIF.
GIF.
Yeah.
GIF. A GIF of him flexing in his Titans uniform. Does everybody feel better now?
The old bait and switch.
Bait and switch.
Watch this. I'm about to get you guys. What does LFG means? Left field goal?
I believe so.
Living free, gentlemen.
Man, he's bringing the heat, man. Today, he must be pumped up, man. So, yeah, I guess that took a turn to the other way. I think he's pretty jacked up. So that was nothing. Just maybe he was super excited about what's to look ahead. Maybe he knows something that we don't know. Like, that something's going to happen with that third pick or a trade. I wasn't even talking about him.
Oh.
I wasn't even.
Oh, he's just excited for the Titans. Like something exciting is going to happen with his team.
Yep. But we just got closer.
Breaking Titans news on 104.5 The Zone.
Lucas is breaking news.
Teron Davenport, breaking news. Reading this right off of TD's Twitter 15 seconds ago. The Titans and Jeffrey Simmons agreed in principle to a 4-year contract extension. Simmons' agent, and he tags his agent, I don't want to mispronounce his name, Paul DeRussell, and general manager Rand Carthon ensure the Titans will have their premier player for the long haul.
There you have it.
Wow.
That's what that was about. Good stuff. They got a 4-year extension. Huh. So basically it's really 5 years left now because he had the 1-year option.
Yeah, 10.7 this year is
can't wait to see these. Oh, and did that free up cap space? By the way,
very well could. Depending on how you
they
massage those
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, well, he's off my board. far as trade potential.
Boy, TD.
Does that change your mock Titans to 3?
No.
No?
Nah, had nothing to do. Nope. Not for me. No. What about you guys? No?
No way.
Mm.
No. I kept thinking, there's no way he's going anywhere. And Blaine, as you pointed out, again, as I say this all the time, because you lived through being tagged and being this kind of tagged and that kind of tagged and what all that looks like, as you pointed out multiple times, he was under contract to play for $10.7 million this year.
Yeah.
And then they could have franchise tagged him. And honestly, they could have done it again.
2 more years, yeah. Hey.
So we always have the discussion of, okay, who's got leverage here? Because he could say, I'm not going to come in. But again, as you pointed out and we've discussed, it's not like the good old days where you could hold out.
Yeah, I held out.
And they're like, okay, you don't really owe us the money. Forget about it.
Right.
Now you owe them every penny of whatever you hold out for. And it's a big fee.
Yeah, it's a big number. So, yeah. So they didn't want to get to that. A lot of people talk about, it sends a bad message and everything else. But it also sends a message of, better get your stuff in order. Because this is all about that business. And first of all, every player is their own individual player. And actually, the elite players at their position have a lot more leverage than most. And he's an elite player, obviously. So.
Cousin Quartile on YouTube says, left field go.
Says why?
Left field go. After
Left
learning
field go
about the extension.
is the LFG.
LFG for Big Jeff.
Jeff.
But if they were to move up to the 3 pick, would that not have made sense if that was part of the package for the Cardinals, who clearly are in the market for a dominant player up front?
Especially on defense, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But my scenario, you said me about it. I use Tannehill. So,
right.
So no, it doesn't change anything. But they'll probably hold pat anyway. They'll be conservative. Maybe Trey Lance will be part of this. I'm hearing that he's worthy of a 3rd-round pick. What if you do a swap like you did with Tannehill and you just swap 3rd-round picks so the Titans would then pick later in the 3rd round and add Malik Willis to it as well?
Well, remember we got into this about 3 weeks, a month ago. Remember we were talking about what about Trey Lance? I mean, what about him? And that got discussed as soon as Rand got the job.
Yeah, but I don't. Why would they get rid of Trey Lance at this point, not knowing where Purdy's elbow is? Like you got Darnold, Purdy. I just don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense right now.
It doesn't make me feel like, this is something we need to do. Even though he's underperformed, gotten hurt over the last 2 years. You got to play it safe until the end. They could wait till maybe training camp when they have a better understanding of where Purdy is in his elbow.
Yep.
See? Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you they like Darnold. Mm-hmm. West Coast guy. I'm sure they scouted him out, and they feel like they're getting a steal because he was 1st-round pick. High. Top 5 pick, wasn't he? What was he? And he's only 25, even though he's been in the league, 4 years? 4 or 5?
5.
5.
So he just played his 5th-year option out.
With the Panthers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are still reacting to the Jeffrey Simmons news. So a 4-year extension. So I'll ask you guys, what do you think is the total? 4 for what?
No, that's hard for me to do. I guess I got to start calculating what I think he would get per year.
So you can start with what Deron Payne got, right? That's sort of a jumping off point. 4 years, $90 million, I believe it was, for the Commanders.
Remember,
it was an
tackle.
extension as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
When Deron Payne got his, it's the 2nd biggest total and the 2nd biggest per year, right? Both of them only behind Aaron Donald, who was 3 years at 30.
Like 30 a year.
Yeah. And 3 years at 30 per year.
When you say, I could be looking at it wrong, when you say 4-year extension, it's really a 5-year $90 million. Because you're extending, he was going into this year already, or no, it's not like that.
Since he was under contract, I think you're right. He was not a free agent. He had a year on his contract.
Right.
Now it could
so
change.
It extends from there, or does it extend from this year? That's what I'm getting at.
I think it could change this year's number, but I think it means I would think it means 5 years because he was under contract. It's an extension. It probably changes his number for this year. Mm-hmm. They give him a lot more money this year than 10.7, but maybe they can make the signing bonus
spread throughout the years.
Spread throughout the years.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what do you think he got? So we're going to base it off of Payne's 4-year 90. He's got to get 4-year 100, right?
I think it's 100. I think it's 4.
Right?
I think it's 25 average.
Yeah.
I think that's
That sounds
That's
sounds right
where
to
I'm
me.
going. 4 year.
I'd say 100 is 100 the floor?
No.
I'd be surprised if it's below 100.
Yeah, I think it's right at 100, but I don't think it's below. I don't think it's a lot. I just, man, I can't wait to see this contract. I want to see the numbers, and I want to see how it's structured.
Let's keep looking because surely, like,
Oh, it's gonna come out eventually.
somebody will have this. His agent will leak it.
Or one of the the national guys I have.
Yeah.
His agent tweeted just a picture of him and Jeff with the sunglasses emoji. that's all that's come out of his agent's account.
Oh,
so far.
Lonzo Wright. 4 year, 104, 26 a year.
Oh.
Ooh. I think Lucas may be right. That may be the floor, 25.
Saying that's Lonzo's guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say 25 is where it's at. I don't know about that.
So do you?
Ooh.
So Payne got 4 for 90. Is that right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Big Jeff got to be. He has to be the new number 2.
90. I'm trying to. So that's
But now,
22
how about
and
this?
a half is
How
what
about
that
this, though?
was.
Go look up Payne's stats, though. I think his stats are better than Big Jeff.
His last
So
year.
just think about when you're negotiating. Yes,
Yep.
his last year.
Last year he was off the chain.
Yeah.
Payne.
See, so you can
Sorry.
leverage that when you're
It's fine.
negotiating and say, well, how can we give you more than Payne when you didn't come up with the numbers?
Yeah, Payne was more available, played in every game,
Payne.
and had 11 and a half sacks, 18 TFLs. By far the best year of his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Quinnen Williams has not gotten his deal.
So
And
Quentin Williams right now is like, hey, man, whatever this dude just got.
Yeah. Same draft class, also more productive in 2022.
Yes, he was. To be
Quinnen's
honest, I
gonna
think he
need
may
more.
be a little bit better player, only because I think he's a better pass rusher.
So if Big Jeff gets 25, Quentin says, I get 26. If Big Jeff gets 26, Quentin says, I want 27.
Yeah, I think so.
And Aaron Donald's sitting out there at this unspeakable number of 31 is what it was. 31.3 was his number from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
These dudes are creeping right up towards it.
Oh, man. Just think what that guy from the Chiefs is thinking. Jones?
That big
Is that-
rascal. Yeah.
Ooh.
Chris Jones.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man. Hey.
It's time to get
I've been
have
at
a
this a
conversation.
long time. Did y'all watch the Super Bowl? Did you see me out there?
Brett Kern tweeted out the video of him sticking his hand out for Jeff and when he comes off the field. And Jeff just walks right by him.
Who did that?
Brett Kern.
Oh,
It's
man.
really good.
Hashtag
left
my
hand.
man Kern. You gotta miss Kern, man.
Eagles had Kern, they would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Kern would have him a ring right now, and the Eagles would have another ring. But no, you got to go with the dude who hasn't punted in months. Go ahead, Eagles. Make a bad decision. Sounds like the Titans made a good one. Buck Reising is set to join us next. We got news to start out with Uncle Buck Reising. We'll do it next.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson from 104.5, The Zone's morning show. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and I am a proud participant in this year's Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it is my privilege to be sitting here with Olivia. She is going through this battle right now at 10 years old. I know it has not been easy for you. You've been going through treatments and continue to. Why is it so very important for people to donate?
So we can get easier treatment options, and it will help the research of leukemia and lymphoma.
Yeah, and this is such a strong young lady, and every little bit will help. Like she said, the Dare to Dream campaign for safer treatments. This is not a disease that discriminates. It hits all ages. We've seen athletes that are dealing with that right now as we speak. But Olivia right here, she's going to win this battle, and we are here to help. So you can easily donate. Every dollar counts. Just click on that QR code at the top of Zone TV. You can just also go to 1045thezone.com.
Blaine and Mickey 104.5, the Zone plays suspended at the Masters right now due to weather. And meanwhile, in Nashville, Big Jeff with the extension. Teron Davenport just dropping the news after a couple of, well, one seemingly cryptic tweet from Big Jeff, and then another tweet that was like, uh-oh, something big just happened. And we just happen to have our Titans reporter, Buck Reising, on with us now. So, Buck, we wondered when it was going to happen. You know, the John Robinson window was – there was like a 4-day period in July where he seemed to hand out extensions. Looks like Rand is going to do things differently, but to report out that Big Jeff gets a 4-year extension. Have you heard anything, any guaranteed money, any total money? What do you know about Big Jeff?
I don't have any details beyond what Teron is saying. Able to confirm that it's a 4-year deal, so that's exciting for Titans fans.
4-year extension.
4-year extension, thank you. 4-year extension on his current deal, so that's exciting for Titans fans who are trying to get some drama out of their lives, and this would alleviate a lot of the concerns. Or tough scene for the Titans are a poverty franchise crowd, and I've always thought that was kind of a silly narrative because they have all kinds of top of market deals out there in the last couple of years between Lawan, Byard. Tannehill got paid. Henry didn't get a top of the market deal, but I mean they've paid plenty of people, so I think that's been kind of a lazy narrative. But yeah, if you want an easy PR win, if you're Rand Carthon that you know is going to help your football team, go ahead and give the big fellas money, and it seems like they've agreed to do that.
So, Big Jeff gets his, as Blaine pointed out, because everyone has said 4-year extension. It's possible. It's possible to do anything with contract gymnastics that they've lowered his number down lower than 10.7 this year with the extension, Buck. Maybe this means another roster attack on the payroll is not imminent, depending on what kind of space they've created with this move.
It makes the most sense to do it that way. If you can try and find a way that makes, if Jeff is comfortable with it, as long as he's getting his money in some form or fashion and that the average annual value is right, so he feels like he's in a competitive marketplace with a lot of these guys who have gotten contracts already. I think that's entirely possible that is, we'll wait to see what the details look like, and I'm keeping an eye on my phone while I talk to you guys to see if I get anything as it comes across. But I think that's entirely possible. Gives them a little financial flexibility. They had almost none with their effective cap space after the current free agency deals, and they still have a lot more work to do because this is far from a complete roster. Even once we get through we'll see what happens with how they handle the draft, if they choose to pick up more picks, if they choose to forego a pick or two because they're trying to maneuver up. That remains to be seen, but we'll have resolution on that sooner rather than later as well. So not a lot of drama, unfortunately for us in our business, but good for Titans fans who want a resolution on this thing.
Oh, yeah, this Good Friday just got a whole lot gooder for a lot of people. Buck Rising's appearance brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, home of the non-commissioned salespeople.
Well, Buck, if you had to, I guess, predict what his numbers are compared to Payne, who got, 4-year, $90 million extension. Where do you think, which puts him at number 2, naturally behind the great one, Aaron Donald. Where do you think Jeff, if you had to make a bold prediction, not knowing any guarantees, just looking at the surface numbers, where would you think it would be at?
I mean, I would imagine he has to be at least $100 million at that point based on the Payne deal. Jeff Simmons deserves to be currently the second highest paid defensive tackle in the league. Now we'll see. I imagine Quinn Williams is going to exceed that number for a variety of different reasons, guys, because one, I think he's been a better individual player, where Jeff has worked very, very well within a system. And by the way, is a bona fide game record. Like, he's what you want. It's not any knock on Jeff that Quinn Williams has had to this point a slightly more individually productive career. And also the tax situation is different in New York than it is in Tennessee, so there's going to need to be some financial compensation to reflect that I imagine will make at some point Quinn Williams the second highest paid defensive tackle. But I would fully anticipate Jeff exceeding the Deron Payne deal, and I think the $100 million mark is a nice, clean, round number for everybody to get behind. $25 million a year on an average annual basis is about ballpark what Jeff should be based on the market. And so it's a good resolution on a continually lingering discussion point around them. I won't call it a problem because based on everything that I understood heading into this thing, and I think Jimmy Wyatt spoke to a similar effect at some point in an appearance recently, it's been a fairly steady negotiating process where AJ was very disjointed. There was a couple of wrenches thrown in the middle of this, and ultimately the agency and the player decided to take a different kind of tactical approach. It's been different with Jeff. Jeff's not represented by one of these mega agencies. He's represented by an individual who seems to be handling all of this on the front end and is taking a victory lap on social media that I saw, letting people know that he would be taking Good Friday off and that he would talk to them again soon. But so good for the agent, good for the player, good for Jeff and his family, and we'll await those contract details, or hopefully we'll see them sooner rather than later.
Well, we were having a little fun here and, kind of boldly predicting our top 5 picks. I'm going to ask you a little bit differently, and that is, if you had your way and you're the GM and everything fell your way, who would you want the Titans to take with the first round in the 11th pick, or if you wanted to move up? Give us your dream scenario of what you think the Titans should do with their first round pick.
Depending on the quarterback situation and how it breaks guys and what Arizona chooses to do with that third round selection and how involved or not involved the Titans ultimately end up being in the quarterback draft, I would love to see them take a quarterback in this year's draft. I would love to see them. I could make a case for really any of the 5. There's no way to accurately predict who's going to succeed, who's going to fail. I think that's been proven out over many, many years of quarterback evaluation and just the science or lack thereof that is the NFL draft. But I think that a value play at quarterback makes all the sense in the world, especially if you're going to try. We'll see what Jeff's 2023 cap number ends up being ultimately, and whether they do choose to employ what Blaine suggested, which makes a lot of sense to bring that cap hit down in the first year, the way that we saw Robinson structure a lot of contracts. If you feel like if that cap hit does go up in future seasons, then a cost-effective quarterback solution makes all the more sense with a $25 million a year defensive tackle on the books, with Kevin Byard's current situation looking like it's holding firm thus far. We haven't seen any movement on the Kevin Byard front, so until such time as a move is made, we must operate under the assumption that that's going to be the figure that he plays at. Quarterback for a team in this position where they're going to have all kind of resources next year to spend around them, with Tannehill off the books. We'll see what happens with Derrick Henry, whether that's an extension or just they let him play out the stretch. I think that they would be open to a Derrick 1-year extension at the very least to bring down his cap hit as well. But rookie quarterbacks are such a commodity, especially with the value that they bring. Even if you can get a replacement level starter, you've seen teams go above and beyond to make sure that a situation either works around the quarterback or that they're in position to be able to plug and play a quarterback if said quarterback that they're building around currently doesn't work out. You've seen a lot of teams employ that strategy more successfully than the teams who draft at the top, who bring these quarterbacks into bad teams, who trot them out there as day one starters and, or they get jerked with even worse, like having to split reps with Gardner Minshew in their rookie training camp, even though everybody knows that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starter. Urban Meyer, you dope. These guys, there's the ability to muck these things up in a variety of different ways, but I do think that the Titans are still well equipped to take on a developmental, higher ceiling quarterback than what we know Malik Willis currently offers.
Is there a quarterback you like personally, not, giving us what's been reported, but is there personally a guy that you like?
I mean, it's hard to not be fascinated with the idea of Anthony Richardson when Josh Allen is out there roaming in the wild and, playing football at the NFL level like he's still playing 8th grade backyard stuff. It's just, there's no way to accurately predict what he'll become. And Levis, by the way, I think Levis is not as much of a question because the 2022 tape exists, or rather the 2021 tape exists, and it looks so much better from an operational standpoint and an execution standpoint than did this past season. But if you're asking me to gamble on upside, and if you're asking for the Titans, if you're a fan out there asking for the Titans to legitimately try and better their quarterback situation, it's tough for me to move on from the Anthony Richardson idea.
Well, the Titans reporter and Buck Reising from the Buck Reising Show right here on 104.5 The Zone.
So, Buck, we've had a lot of talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let's say the Titans stay at 11. And he's there. No wide receivers have been taken. I mean, everybody knows it's an area of need. Is he a guy that you would feel comfortable taking at 11?
If I'm the Titans, I mean, I personally, I like him. I like watching him. He's a higher level prospect than both Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were coming out of college. It's hard to argue against that given the production that those two put up in their rookie years. But the soft tissue injuries for a franchise that is so going to be scrutinized for availability, they do have to put that in the back of your mind. That's a legitimate thing that Rand Carthon and his staff and Mike Vrabel are going to have to legitimately consider because they can't afford to screw around with a non-factor rookie. And certainly that Jackson Smith and Jigba's soft tissue injuries would bring that to the forefront in ways that, I mean, these things are difficult to avoid under any circumstance, and certainly rookies their bodies will struggle to adjust at any level, whether that be soft tissue or otherwise. We see these things pop up all the time in training camp, but you got to be real careful if you're in an organization like the Titans and you know you need help right now.
Yeah.
Who do you like then?
Well, I mean, there's a variety of different wide receivers, Blaine, that I could make the case.
Well, I mean,
for.
no, I mean, he asked you the question: would you take a wide receiver, and if it's not Jigba, basically, who would you take?
Oh, if Skoronski's there, I'd go for it in a heartbeat. I think you can make the case that he's the best overall offensive lineman in this draft, not just because he played tackle, but because he does have the ability to move inside. I think any team that drafts him is probably going to try him at tackle first, see if he fails before they move inside, and we know that the Titans need help at both. I don't know what to make of Andre Dillard. I don't know that he's a surefire commodity. All I know is a value pickup at left tackle in free agency that they're going to try, and more power to them. But that should not preclude them from being willing to upgrade what I think is their most important position group to address this offseason, and that's what's in front of the quarterback and Derrick Henry.
So we did a little exercise yesterday. We rated these three draft positions by need. Like if you would take one in the first round, one in the second round, one in the third round. Offensive line, wide receiver, cornerback. How would you draft those just by position based on how you see the need? O-line, wide receiver, cornerback, 1, 2, and 3. In what order?
Yours could be different, though, if you want it.
I don't think it needs to be. I think you can rattle it off the way that Mickey just did. I think the drop-off, especially from an interior player standpoint, is pretty steep between Skoronski and Torrance, the guard from Florida. There are a lot of corners in this draft. It's not a pressing need right now, even with Caleb Farley's status really, truly up in the air. And the wide receivers, they're not top end. There's no Jamar Chase in this year's draft, right? There's not a bunch of them like we're accustomed to seeing, but there's still plenty of functional players that would make sense as a legitimate pairing for what Traylon Burks and, in some form or fashion, NWI, Kyle Phillips, and Racing McMath have to offer. They have to get faster. There's no question. And that wide receiver pick, wherever it happens, and it has to happen, is going to be as scrutinized as any decision they make this offseason. But I think it's fine to go 1, 2, 3 that way because I think the offensive line is the most important need, and that given that you have a top 15 pick, you have the flexibility to add what should be an 8 to 10 year starter at that spot.
Buck Reising starting out with us every Friday here in hour number 2, Talking Titans.
Well, Buck, I'm going to give you a scenario, and you tell me which one of the scenarios you would prefer. That doesn't mean it's going to happen or this is what you want to happen, but it is just situations in the draft that could possibly happen. That is, a trade for Lamar Jackson is number 1. A trade for Trey Lance is number 2. And sticking at 11 is number 3. Of those scenarios, which one would you prefer? Of those scenarios. If you don't like any of them, but you had to choose one, because that's what the draft is all about. You got to make a choice. Which one would you choose? GM Buck Reising.
I don't think there's any discussion. I think it's Lamar. Like, you go get the proven commodity, you go get the franchise quarterback, you figure it out around him. And you try to win with the financial situation that you're in. He's not one of these middle ground guys that's overpaid. He's not Tannehill. He's not Jimmy G. He's not Carr. This is a former MVP. You know what he can do. You have a system that's uniquely equipped to maximize his skill set. You'll be facing a similar situation as they were in Baltimore, where the questions are going to be about the wide receiver talent around him. But again, I think it's almost a hyper focus on the wide receivers that ignores what Baltimore has done historically with their tight end position. Everybody would love a Mark Andrews. I don't know that the Titans have one. I have no idea what Chig's going to end up being. But they can build a system around that player It makes a ton of sense. And he is the thing that they know. They know what he is. They know how to beat him. They've beaten him before. They know how. Then certainly they're going to figure out how to use him if they are going to legitimately be on it. I am hugely skeptical of them being anywhere close to Lamar Jackson, but yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat and run over the other two.
Well, someone in the chat, I won't say their name, but they say that Buck's not a Titans fan. I know you're a reporter, but you can also be a fan of a team and still give objective opinions and be a fan of them. What team are you a fan of in the National Football League?
He's a Titans fan.
I have one, Blaine.
Well, see, Chaz Mason. I don't know if you know the guy. That's who said it. I think that's.
Don't let him fool you, Blaine. He's wearing a Steve McNair jersey under his shirt.
So you sure you don't have your McNair, or is it VY?
You guys know Dara, the woman that I was dating for a while. Dara bought me a really nice and thoughtful gift after the NFL draft. It was a Hatch Show print Titans poster from the year that we had the draft. And I'm telling you, it was a birthday present. She obviously thought, sports guy, Titans, you cover them. Makes sense. But I went a year before I would actually hang that thing up, and we got into an argument about it because I wouldn't put it up in my office because I don't want any semblance of any kind of affiliation with a team that I cover whatsoever. I don't have a football team. My rooting interest, Blaine, is for what's in the best interest of us as the people who do this. I'm a me fan. Shocking to no one.
Man, I thought that was kind of interesting. Well, we had a fun time here predicting who would go in the first 5 picks. I'm going to pose that question to you. Carolina, Houston, Arizona, Indy, Seattle. Whatever scenario you want to come up, give us your bold predictions on, and we may ask you again, on the first 5 picks of the 2023 NFL Draft.
I'll, just a guess, like you said, I'd say Stroud, Young. I think it's going to be Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech over Will Anderson the more that I talk to people, but that could just be
Arizona. Okay.
But, whomever picks at 3. I think
Arizona
3,
does.
Whether it's currently, but I think Arizona ultimately ends up moving that pick.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if they stick, I'll say Tyree Wilson. I think they could use the edge help. If they trade, I would imagine some combination of Levis. Some quarterback goes there. I would say the next pick to Indianapolis, should they not get scooped, is going to be Anthony Richardson. I think that's more of a Jim Irsay play. I don't think it's a good decision by them. I don't think they have the support system in place for him. But, it would be tough to pass up on that kind of talent. And then to round out the top, who's the 5th pick?
Seattle.
Whoever's left behind Geno. I think they can put a quarterback in there that makes the most sense in the same way that we're talking about, or in the same way that I'm talking about. I think a strategy for the Titans is a really, really sound play to get involved in the quarterback draft this year. I think Seattle's in the same boat.
There you have it. Buck Reising giving us all the knowledge on the scoop for the NFL and the Titans.
Hey, just real quickly on the way out, because we are in the state of Tennessee, there's a lot of interest in Hendon Hooker. Where do you think he winds up going, injury and all, inside the top 15 or the top 20 or the top 25 or first round period? What do you think?
I really think he's a first-round pick at this point. There's too many teams that have tenuous quarterback situations. And, I do think I think it's beneficial that he doesn't have to work out next to these guys. Not that he couldn't look just impressive. He's not too small. He's not, less athletic. I mean, Richardson is different, obviously, but he would have been fine had he gone through the workout process. But I think one of the best things about this is the unknown. You have the film, you know what the film is, you know the criticisms of the film, you know the player, you know that he's an exceptional leader, you know that he's going to be respected by his locker room, you know he's going to interview well and be able to recognize and isolate and diagnose in a way that quarterbacks will need to do when he goes through the testing. And that's been the rave reviews of him so far. It would be difficult for me to see a situation because I think he's a better prospect than Desmond Ridder was. And if Desmond Ridder is good enough to be a second-round pick in a bad quarterback draft, I think Hendon Hooker could certainly be a first-round pick.
There you go, the one and only Buck Reising, at Buck Reising on Twitter, the Buck Reising Show, and the Install, and A to Z Sports, and all the many, many places that you can just catch the magic of Buck every week, and right here on the Zone, too, before us.
Hardest working man in showbiz.
He really is, Buck.
Man, you just made me exhausted.
Tell me about it.
Well, Buck, we know you got a big Easter egg hunt and, big plans. So we'll let you move on to the rest of your day, sir. Thanks for checking in with us.
I wish it would not be beyond the pale for me to go buy a thing of Easter eggs and decorate them for the cats of the yard. But no, sadly not this year.
All right. The one and only Buck Reising right there. When we come back, we will call our shot. The Masters has resumed play. We'll give you an update there. And we'll keep scouring the internet and see if any numbers are out for Big Jeff. But we got the numbers for the other defensive linemen. I can give you that, too, on the way out.
Cool.
And FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's because right now, new customers can step up to the plate with a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Blaine and Mickey 1045 The Zone. Y'all hey, hit it. Hit the sound. We got it. Hit the sound.
Breaking Titans news on 1045 The Zone.
All right, hit us. You've been scouring Twitter. You found it.
Yes, 1 minute ago, Big Jeff, 4-year extension worth $94 million. None of the details, and that's $23.5 million per year. So he did not reach what we were all discussing, which we thought would be $25 million per year. Based off the contract, we don't know any guarantees or anything else, but at least we have the numbers. 4-year extension, $94 million. Big Jeff is even bigger now because he's carrying around all that loot.
It's another one of Rand's bargains.
Rand's bargains. I love that.
So Aaron Donald is $95 million total value. So Big Jeff is second only to Aaron Donald.
Yeah, he got 2.
20. So let's get the average.
I thought Aaron Donald's total was like $30 million.
It was 3 years, 31.67.
Per year.
95. Yep.
Yeah, well, he ain't not close enough 31.
So the average value here, that puts Big Jeff $1 million ahead of Deron Payne and only behind Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
They slotted him right in.
Yeah, they got him. They got him one more win. That means Quinn Williams is going to be higher, and then Chris Jones is going to get a new contract. So he's going to end up being like number 3.
Chris Jones is on a 4-year 80 right now, $20 million per year. So Chris Jones is on the phone with his agent. I won't take less than 25 right now. Give me 25.
Or he could be a trade on draft day. You never know. I don't put nothing past Andy Reid.
I don't either. And you played for Andy Reid if people don't know.
That's
what's Quinn Williams going to get?
Bargain.
Honestly,
that's a bargain, as Lucas mentioned. Rand Carthon. How you say it?
Rand's bargains. Nobody's been able to think of something better.
Man, I like that. And that they won. They won. The player did not win. As I always say, as Lucas tells me, there have been some guys who have won, but the Titans won on this deal.
No, we'll see what the guarantee is.
We will.
We'll see what the guarantee is.
Maybe they gave up a little on but
so the top guaranteed at signing right now is Deron Payne at 55. He got 55 guaranteed at signing.
Ooh.
Aaron Donald's was only $46.5 million. Hargrave $40 million.
Maybe they guaranteed. Well,
30.
it was different. Yeah, it was 2 ago.
Yep. So guaranteed at signing, Deron Payne is number 1 right now, 55. That's all. This is all per spot track.
You think he'll get more than 55? I don't think so.
He's got to get 56. He's topped him with like $1 million with everything.
And Teron Davenport, $66 million guaranteed.
Teron, 66.
Oh, he blew that out of the water. 11 mil more than anybody guaranteed for a defensive tackle.
That's going to be tough. That was going to be tough to beat. Quinn Williams going to have something to go for now. Where'd you see oh, there it is. Yeah, 66.
Oh, Quentin Williams is like, okay,
keep going
67.
Up. Money, please.
I got to be number 1 in every category.
Or at least next between. I got to be the guy behind Aaron Donald then.
Man.
Okay.
I'm more excited that it broke on our show about everything, and even the contract that he signed, than him even getting the money.
Well, I'll tell you who should be excited, too, that this broke when it did. It's the Tennessee Titans, because if Quentin Williams got paid first, then Big Jeff's like, I got to beat that. They beat the Jets to the punch.
Yeah, I do have to agree with Buck on that for sure. I think Quentin Williams all around probably is a better player. By how much, I don't know. But I think he's a better pass rusher. That was the only thing you can really talk about Big Jeff as pass rusher. And Payne had a great year, but that was an anomaly to basically what he's done before. I think he averaged like 6 sacks a year, Payne, or something before this last season, somewhere thereabout. So, yeah, that's the only guy I could, Williams is a little, he's a little bit better. But I think he may beat Big Jeff on the side. Because if I can remember right, I think Williams may have been the number 1 player based off of ratings coming out his year. Naturally, he didn't go first.
Right.
But I don't know if that was right or not, but
all right.
That's what I recall.
On the
$66 million.
Good job, Big Jeff. On the way out, got to call our shot brought to you by Chattanooga Whiskey 91, an award-winning small batch bourbon and the only Tennessee high malt, featuring tasting notes of toasted honey and graham cracker, a real winner, and available at your local retail store, Chattanooga Whiskey 91 gentlemen on the way out. Shots called.
John Rahm, Masters champion.
So you're taking one of Blaine's big three instead of the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 7 under.
I'm taking the field over the big three. That won't win it. Yeah, clarify. Won't win it.
2-point shot for me. Tiger makes the cut. He's right on the line. Phil in the top 5. Phil Mickelson in the top 5. Made a nice move today. Phil's going to make it interesting this weekend. We got to go. 3HL, they'll get you the rest of the Big Jeff details, and we're going to get out of here. Happy Good Friday to everybody.
No
Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be happy.
But in the meantime,
In between time,
Peace.